And in addition, Josephus makes it very clear that Philip the Tetrarch, the other, when Herod died, Tetrarch means a quarter of the country. The country was divided up into quarters. Again, it's all in Josephus. That Philip was not married to Herodias. He was married to Herodias' daughter Salome, the one who's supposed to did the sexy dance to get Herod to behead John the Baptist. That's all nonsense. That's all nonsense. Herod was much more realist than that. In Josephus, that's for overseas consumption. In Josephus, Herod kills John the Baptist because he was afraid that he was so popular among the people that they would do whatever he suggested, and he thought that John would lead a revolt, suggested them to revolt, and therefore he thought he should be prudent and execute him. It's a preventive execution. Nothing to do with a sexy dance. That's for Renaissance medieval art. You know, just read Josephus next to the more colorful material that everyone is familiar with. But everyone accepts the colorful material. Why? Something I told you much earlier. Poetry is truer than history. People love poetry. History is too complicated. Hey, it's easier just to call Bush a jerk and be done with it, you know. If you're trying to get the good parts of him and the bad parts of him and so on and so forth, that's too complicated. The good parts of Clinton and the bad parts of Clinton and so on. People just want everything laid out in simple poetic terms. And that's what always wins. The simpler you can make the story, the more sexy you can make it, the better it's going to be. Well, any case, so what's up here? Oh, Salome did marry again. And you think I'm feeding you a story. I'm not. The writers of the Gospels don't even know the name of the woman who did the dance. They don't name her. Why? They don't know her name. We have to go to Josephus to find out that her name is Salome. And we all think, oh, her name is Salome. Oh no, it's not in the Gospels. It's in Josephus. You won't find any Salome mentioned once in the Gospels. So, I mean, these are the problems if you really want to do serious research. So, what am I talking? Why have I said it? Here, every man sinned against the flesh of his own flesh. That is, he approached near relatives for fornication, and they've used their power for riches and profiteering. Each man doing his right in his own eyes, following the stubbornness of his own part, and they did not keep apart from the people. I think it's really peoples, the ethne. Again, keeping apart, NZR, the Nazarite root. Their wine is the venom of vipers and the cruel poison of asps, quoting Deuteronomy 32:33. Now we're in the most important sections of this document. It's built up to this. Whose wine is the poison of asps? These rulers, whoever they are, Maccabees or Herodians, this is your choice over and over again. I know what I think. I'm sorry to be such a pig-headed person about it. I wish I could give you a different position so I could be fair about it. You be fair, and then you decide. I can only give you what just pops out at me. I respect and admire the Maccabees with all the problems they may have had. I don't think any of this can ever be said. A person who would apply this to the Maccabees, you really got to hate the Maccabean family to think that the Maccabees could have been spoken of like this. You must hate Hanukkah, you know. I wouldn't even celebrate it if you think that this is an anti-Maccabean document. You know. For the Jews, the Maccabees are heroic. That's my personal view. Anyway, so I think that the peoples is how the Talmud is using it, peoples, and how Paul uses it, Gentiles, peoples. They have not kept apart from the peoples. They've walked in the way of evil ones. Their wine is the venom of, you see, in the Habakkuk commentary, we're going to get the Amim and the Yeter Amim, the peoples and the additional ones of the peoples. And it's quite clear that the peoples are the Herodians in the Habakkuk commentary, and the additional ones of the peoples are interpreted as the Roman army, the Kittim, who come and take away all of the booty from and sack the temple and destroy the temple. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I can only do one document at a time with you. Okay, tough stuff. Sorry, it's the end of the course. Here it is. We said John in the New Testament is quoted as saying, "You generation of vipers." I've showed you several passages here paralleling that. Here's another one. The vipers are the kings of the peoples. Now, the kings of the peoples is a Roman juridical term for the ethnic kings in the eastern part of the empire. To my mind, that makes things QED, as in geometry, proved. They're using Roman judicial terms to talk about the rulers in Palestine. Because the peoples in the eastern part of the empire are called peoples in Roman law. They're not Roman, they're not Latin, they're peoples, Gentiles, ethnic. And now look at this, and their wine is their ways. Interpreting Deuteronomy, which I guess mentions that. And the poison of asp, which is probably also mentioned, is the head of the kings of Greece. Now this throws everybody off, because the head of the kings of Greece, that must be some Greek emperor of some kind. But you see, the kings in the eastern part of the empire are all Grecian speaking. So they would be perceived at a place like Qumran as Greek. They wouldn't distinguish between Greek-speaking people and Romans. The head of the Greek-speaking kings, the Herodians would have spoken Greek. All the kings in Asia Minor would have spoken Greek. The head of these, even the kings across Jordan, in Syria and elsewhere, they're all Greek-speaking. The head of these kings, though, would be the Roman emperor. And so, you see, they're playing on yain, because wine, yain in Hebrew, is the same word as Greece in Hebrew, Yavan. We had it in the Daniel prophecies, Javan, Yavan, yain. Y and V are interchangeable in Hebrew. Wine is yain. And then we have the weird thing, head, rosh, and rosh, poison. They're playing on words here. I can't give you the whole play. Everything isn't so simple. But in any case, this is, the poison comes from the head of the kings of Greece. Head and poison are the same word, so they're playing off that. It's really interesting stuff. Who come to execute vengeance upon them. Who comes? The Roman emperor's representatives come. But all this, the builders of the wall and the daubers with plastic. Remember we had the daubers with plastic back in columns 4 and 6? Now they're back again. Who are the daubers with plaster? It's from Ezekiel. The prophets who cry peace when there is no peace. Read your Ezekiel and you'll see it there.